Oh, the light is not good. How about that? It's a lot better. Okay. In recent days, the Trump administration, through its departments, have made it clear that even naturalized American citizens can and will be denaturalized as 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 the law can be implemented. And this is sad because accordingly the guidelines and or you know the aggressive stance of the United States government is really unprecedented. Never in the history of the United States of America has it had an overwhelming rage to denaturalize American citizens. Guidelines are simple: obey the laws, even even in when you were applying for the citizenship, or even when you applied for uh, your permanent residency, and everything has to be, you know, uh, free from defects, from scrutiny, from everything. Your age, your baptismal certificate, your marriage certificate, your bank accounts, your everything that you submitted to when you applied for citizenship and residency should be in order. However, there would be typographical errors, like your middle name is different from what you applied for, or you say, for example, your name is Raul T. Tulibas, but uh, what you submitted was Raul Tulibas E. Eusebio, or something like that. So those things are grounds for denaturalization. It's substantive. I mean, and even if you're naturalized and you committed fraud, you committed crimes, treason, anything under the sun that the government can think of, they can push that on you, and you can be deported. You have to be a saint in order not to get deported or denaturalized. That's the way it is in America right now. The actions of the government has rattled everybody who is affected by this mandate to naturalize American citizens. It is sad. It is very sad. I find that very unproductive, undemocratic. Sure, if somebody must have committed a blatant mistake in their applications to become U.S. citizens, they must be denaturalized. Sure, if somebody materially defrauded the United States government or committed crimes against humanity, against the American public, or against the state, should be deported. There's no question about that. But on things that are very lenient. Things that are very questionable are, your date of birth had a different date of birth on your application and your birth certificate, which was a typographical error and could be substantiated by subsequent paperwork, or the name has changed and it has not been corrected. Things like that. These things happen. You know, those are not grounds for denaturalization, but accordingly, with the mandate of the government, you can be. Because, as I said, anything they can think of, anything that government can think of and put down on you, we have no choice but to answer it. Why you should not be denaturalized and deported. Anything. You're probably even, they can, even moving violations for traffic. You could. But there's no end on how these things will will catch up on you. See, things that you never thought would be grounds for denaturalization would be grounds for denaturalizations. Things like, hey, I committed a minor crime of, you know, vandalism, for example, in high school, mischievousness and being a young kid, and they started throwing stuff to the school and vandalizing the room by spray painting it with things, and they got caught, and spent time they spent time in juvenile center, and then they were asked for community service, and that was 40 years ago. Right now, became a military retiree and became born and raised in America, became productive citizen, except for that minor incident that was on the record and became grounds for deportation. There are also a lot of young kids. The parents forgot to apply for the citizenship of their kids, and the kid forgot about it because you you grow up, you go to school, you have your social security number. Who would have thought that you are not an American citizen and you are deportable, not even a resident, alien, or permanent resident? So many things are at stake. For for example, by 1981, there were about millions of naturalized citizens, and accordingly tripled, quadrupled by the time 2022 or 23 came. So there are millions of naturalized citizens, and you would scour pages upon pages of applications and see what materially or whatever imagined uh, defects or offenses that an applicant had prior to becoming an American citizen, and put it down on them. There are certain things that are, they're legally bound to denaturalize and deport uh, naturalized citizens. I said, but those are spelled out by the Constitution, and they can be broad and they can be specifically interpreted by the Trump administration to to be in their favor, not in the favor of the American citizen. So in the end, I find that the uh, the uh, denaturalization thing would clog up so many court filings for you know denaturalization denaturalization and deportation, and that would tremendous work. There would be a lot of tremendous work on the courts, immigration courts, lawyers, and everything, and it becomes a stress for some people because right now most people would be thinking about what happened when I applied. What were the actual paperwork? Or some who have applied 20, 30, or 40, 50 years, they must have forgotten, but United States might not forget that. And I look at your paperwork and see if something is cross matching with your criminal activities or criminal, even if you have paid for it or even if you have already, uh, suffered from it, from the crimes that you have committed, and you repaid everything. And who knows? As I said, you must be a saint not to get denaturalized and deported at this moment in time. But I don't know how long these things will go on, and all I wish is that get rid of the people who don't deserve to be naturalized American citizens. Get rid of them. There's so many of them. They falsified paperwork. They committed crimes. Go ahead, deport them. But for those law abiding, tax paying citizens, leave them alone. Uh, they have contributed as much as any John or Joe in America. And my God, there's about 90% of us here because some of us are born to foreigners, maybe first, second, third, or fourth generation. So all of us are immigrants, sons of immigrants, grandsons, great grandsons of immigrants, except for those who are pure blooded Navajos or Sequoia or Pawnee or whatever Indian tribe. They cannot be deported because whether they like it or not, where would you send these people? They have no state except the United States of America. Okay, well, what I'm saying is that hopefully, for better or for worse, get rid of those who have committed fraud against the United States of America. But leave these people who are law abiding, beautiful citizens that have been, you know, that have, you know, taken up roots in America. They came to America legally with all legal paperwork and submitted everything in order and never committed any crime except for parking tickets or delayed taxes. Leave them alone. They're not criminals. And I hope you, even if you're not a saint, you'll still enjoy the American way of life as a naturalized U.S. citizen. I thank you and have a good day, everyone.